Okay, so this is a bit of a walk around. You can see the front end here. Somebody made a little spoiler. It's got a bit of a bumper there. Headlights and turn signals that all work. It does have the nice shiny Lincoln wheels on there, fenders. This whole hood part lifts open. That's where the battery is, brand new battery, steering, a lot of electrical, dual horns, which also work. And under that panel there is actually where the fuse box is, so it does have an array of fuses, the regular little Volkswagen fuses. It's got a padded dash, windshield wiper that also works. It's got 2 speeds here on this little red switch right here you see. It's got a horn. I put in a cigarette lighter to charge my phone. It's got headlights and brights and a dimmer for the speedometer over there. It's got this little fan speed control, but there's no fan in here, so I'm not sure if that was a work in progress. It does have hazard lights. This is also, it's like a defrost kind of button, but that's not connected to anything either, so I'm not sure if that was a work in progress as well. This is actually for the backup lights, and it actually has a little beeper that's attached to it as well, so when you flip it on, it does a little screech and flips on the backup lights coming out the back. It's got your Budweiser shifter down there, 4-speed, racing harness, some interior upholstery as well on the sides, and it has this door here that opens on one side and lets you get in. It's got a tonneau cover here on the back with some storage space behind the seat, and as I mentioned also, there is some room behind the seat back here that you would be able to move it back if you so desired. But as I said, I'm 6'2", and I was able to drive this around with relatively little problem at all. It does have a fuel tank back here, which I'm guessing is about 8 gallons. There is no fuel gauge, but you can pretty much pop that off and look in there and see what you got. There is a cutoff switch in front of the fuel pump up here under the gas tank. It's just a little petcock valve for the fuel, which I always keep off when it's not running. As you can see, it's got the dual trumpet exhaust back here. The guy spent a lot of time putting chrome parts on here. It's got a 009 distributor. It's got dual Weber ICT carburetors, I believe. And it does have the Bosch alternator as well. You can see some of the other components back here. Unfortunately, the guy did all the wiring in red. Looks like at one time it was labeled, but that has since rotted off, so might be helpful to somebody at some point to just make a diagram of what goes where over there on that little wire loom. That's about it. It's got like a little chrome bar here on the side, and you can see the rear suspension is Volkswagen, and the front suspension is also Volkswagen. And I'll go ahead and turn the fuel on and kick it over here. Let's see if I can. Yeah. And yeah, it's got a regular little key here. You know, it's probably not something that I would take on a real long trip somewhere, but it's definitely good for around town. If you have any questions, drop me a message.